Hey guys, how's it going? Nova GT here. So, since I have the PSVR, I decided to jump in on an online race in VR. Now, this race at Spa is one I've done on the flat screen, which is when I set that 2:19.7, but not it was the best lap time. I've actually haven't really done this race that much before this one, but it was good enough for a ninth. And just to make things more interesting, I was jumping right in, didn't really practice. I just sat in the pre-race lobby waiting for the race to start just to see how this would go. So if memory served me correctly, ninth was not the best place to start from, because when the race starts you actually end up on the exit of the bus stop chicane, which isn't that terrible since you're on a straight line, better than if you were mid-turn, but it would have been much more ideal being a few more positions up where you already have some speed. So right off the bat you see that there was some incidents there. There was like a small punt which sent that purple car off, and I have no idea what happened there, but you could see two drivers actually get 2-second time penalties. So that should be a few positions for us. And so driving in the daily races is pretty cool experience, since you're in VR, it feels like you're there. Competition feels more real as that Renault behind us does a reverse Michael Schumacher and Mika Häkkinen from Spa 2000. That was a pretty good overtake, but I accidentally bumped him. I actually don't even remember why. This was a while ago. I think I might have just not braked the best, but it does give me front bumper damage. And we're back where we started in ninth. We made up 2 positions and Radion and Eau Rouge, but just as quickly as we gained them, we lost them. So it seemed like it was going to be quite the battle, as there is contact as 2 cars hit the barrier up ahead. I have no idea what that was about, but it was about to get a lot more chaotic, as we're about to see. Oops, for some reason a car gets punted and all of a sudden these cars are spinning everywhere. We got a multi-car collision, somehow make it through all of that. That was crazy. One of the coolest things I've done. And now the driver in 4th gets a 5-second penalty and overcooked the tires just a slight bit, but we managed to keep the position. And it seems like we're about to get 2 more positions, as the driver in 5th and 4th have time penalties. So skipping on ahead, that's exactly what happens, and we're in 4th. So pretty good for my first race in VR, my first multiplayer race that is, with no practice on this track in VR. So all we have to do is just find a way to bring it home within these next 3 laps. So the very next lap, things were looking good. I was slowly but surely pulling away from the Porsche behind. I think he had better top speed, but I was for sure better on Eau Rouge, whereas he was losing all the time towards me. You could see it here where he actually gains on me quite a bit. I'm definitely not that good at that corner, but I think I'm decent enough to at least keep that gap in this metal sector here. But you can see just how much time he's gaining on me. He went from like a good 2 seconds to about 1/10, being right on the bumper of my car. But you can see that he starts to slip away just a bit, a bit of that dirty air he's getting hit with. So going into Pouan, which is a pretty fun corner, at least I think I pronounced it right, but you can see that he just goes a little bit too wide. The curbs upset the car, and now the gap starts being built again. But he was starting to catch up. But this this corner right here, I actually don't even know what it's called. It's so tricky to get right. You need to get it just right to be able to go flat out, or else you're gonna lose time to the car ahead, which is happening to that Porsche behind me. I was able to get a good exit. I think he was suffering from a bit of dirty air. So, but watch right here. Look in the rear view mirror. Look how quickly he gains on me. He absolutely sent it, and now he's right behind me, but he is behind me, so he gets that dirty air and I get the clean air and get a better traction on the exit to get a better exit. So I start pulling away again, but going up Eau Rouge and Radion, he actually gets a pretty decent. He actually takes it pretty decent, so he actually stays with me a bit, but he does seem like he was losing a bit of time, which is actually pretty detrimental to my race result because I'm not. You just saw that I'm not the best at this specific few corners here. You can see how he's on me right again. So this was actually a pretty tense battle. It was like we were evenly matched. I was better in a few turns and sectors. He was better in others. All while third is within eyesight, within reach, but I just can't nail these corners consistently to be able to close that gap. So coming into these twists, I don't know what these are called, but coming into this, I don't take them the best. The Porsche is right on me, but I just hold my racing line to defend, and it worked. You know, he had to get off the pedal to prevent an accident, which allows me to keep the position for at least now. We still have to come up on the bus stop chicane. You can see that he's right on me, so I'm gonna have to get this absolutely dead right. I'm gonna have to get the entry and exit right. So I watch for my braking zone, which is that braking meter. You know, I managed to not completely bottle the bus stop chicane, and now we managed to stay ahead, gain a bit of time, and now we're on the final lap. So fast forwarding a bit, we go in a turn one, and I don't know what happened with him. He must have just took it wrong, because I start building a gap pretty quickly on him. And I'll go into a Rouge or Radion. I don't think I particularly took this the best. Maybe I did, but they just took it better because they start to gain on me quite a bit. And now the back and forth we've been doing has allowed 6th place to catch up to us. That Nissan GTR, which is what the car I'm also in, which isn't good because, you know, he's in the same car, so whatever I'm not doing, he's already flashing his lights at me. He almost bends it into the wall, but that back and forth between me and the Porsche was pretty good. You know, we each had our own advantages and disadvantages, but now that that GTR is behind me, I do feel the pressure building up on me more because he has all the advantages I have, plus I think he doesn't have the disadvantages I have around the corner. So this was definitely going to be something. This is definitely be a lap I had to get dead right to be able to stay in front of this GTR. So you could see coming into a Lapuan, he flashes his lights at me. You know, he probably thinks he's like the race leader and I'm a back marker. He's about a lap, but this ain't Formula 1. I ain't moving to the side for him. I don't even know why he's flashing his lights at me. If he wants to pass me, he could just pass me. The problem is, I ain't gonna let him. So I somehow managed to make these corners pretty good. And now we're coming up onto the final straight before the bus stop chicane. I managed to get it dead right. I think I might have lifted just a bit, but it wasn't anything too drastic because we're keeping him at bay. So going into this final turn, it's flat out, and going into the bus stop chicane, this GTR knows it only has one corner left to make it something happen, and he tries. I see that in the rearview mirror. I don't try too hard. I'm not trying to, you know, get myself pit maneuvered, but he backs off, and somehow in my very first race in VR, I land 4th. You know, you can see my driver rating there being like, weren't you B rating in the last one? Yeah, but I've had a few bad races, like here in Trial Mountain, finished in 11th. You know, wasn't happy with that result, as you can see. I started in last because I didn't set a qualifying time, but yeah, 11 was just not gonna work for me. And then again in the next race, except I finished in 13th. You know, frankly, I don't think that one was my fault. I think there might have been dirty racing in this one. But then something interesting happened the very next race. I don't know, the game might have glitched out, or, you know, let's be honest, someone probably hacked the law view, because none of us were going. We were all going at a snail's pace. So I knew what this meant. that. I was ready for that. I had my foot down, but the car did not would just not want to start, which led to that chaos of cars being absolutely set to the Shadow Realm. So I was expecting to at least be in first. Speaking of which, where are the top 3 racers? I don't see them anywhere. That's really strange. I don't think the glitch affected them, but it affected everyone else for some reason. And there's the person who was in third, just with a 1.5 second time penalty. There's the other driver. I think that Italian driver might have been hacking, because how do these cars end up here and just spinning? But and then I have problems on the start, can't quite accelerate, but that Italian car just cuts through the rest of us, like if we were in like an F4 car and he was in a F1. So that doesn't make a lick of sense. And they also did remove the option to use your personal cars because of like a glitch with delivery. So I think he very well could have been exploiting that. But everyone's loss is my gain, because I'm chilling here in third and people are leaving. I don't think I'm under threat, but yeah, there's this entire, I think I did like 5 races. No, you're not gonna see them because they were absolutely atrocious. I don't know what it was, but me, like right here, this corner, I don't know what was up with it. I could just not hit it right, and now I'm under threat from 4th. Every race I did, I was locking up on that turn. I had no idea why. Me and Trial Mountain were just not gelling together. I've never struggled on that turn, that corner, until this race happened. I was just absolutely locking up, going in deep. It was atrocious. If you guys saw what I was doing in those previous races at that turn, you wouldn't be able to look at me the same. And leave it to me to mess it up, because you saw how that Porsche had a 1.5 second time penalty, and I'm doing terrible. He manages to close that gap, and now I'm under threat, completely alone. 2nd nowhere to be seen, 5th nowhere to be seen. It's just me at 3rd and my terrible driving. Yeah, this corner right here was another one that was make it or break it for me. I either got it decent or I was hitting the barrier. There was no in between. So quickly, before we hit this corner, what do you think I do? I actually don't take it the worst, but not the best, and I almost cook it on the exit, and now the Porsche's right next to me, and for some reason I leave the door wide open, and now he just takes the position away from me. Absolutely terrible driving. I have no idea what's going on with me. No wonder I'm back in the C lobbies and I lost my B rank. So we started in 12th or 13th, but thanks to that weird glitch or whatever at the beginning of the race, I finished 4th, which was pretty abysmal when you realize that I was in a 3rd, so I wasn't exactly the happiest. So I thought maybe it's just the VR, because I was trying every car combination out there, nothing was working, so I just decided to go back to a flat screen mode, and not gonna lie, going back to flat screen mode felt pretty weird. I was already used to driving in a VR mode, so when I went back to the flat screen, everything seemed weird. Like, everything was compact and small. My monitor is 23.8 inches, and it felt like I could barely see anything. Like, all that depth and stuff was gone, so this was pretty weird to go back to, but it wasn't flat screen mode. I just suck.